This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm suspecting that you are going to learn something about your body, your wellness, your health today. And that is by way of great practice in Florida. Now, yes, they practice chiropractic services, but it's not just about that. It's about whole health wellness. That is the philosophy at this place that this woman runs. And we're talking about Thorpe Chiropractic in Florida. And she is the owner and founder, and she's Lorraine Thorpe, and she joins us on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh my gosh, blown away with all the services that you offer at your center. Chiropractic would be great if we just left it at that, but there is everything there from somebody mentally feeling better, losing weight, body sculpting, so much more. When did this explode for you, going from chiropractic to all these other services? When did that happen?
So we probably started to get into nutrition and weight loss probably about 10 years ago, on the holistic side of it, and then delving into red light and cryotherapy and all of those trends that were going on. And we still do those treatments as well, but we've just evolved over the last, maybe 5 years, where I brought in medical staff and nurse practitioners so that we could expand and include services that just weren't under my scope. So
I get the feeling that when you work with people, it's not just the symptoms. You're going deep and looking at the whole body and what's going on there to move somebody in a favorable direction. Would you say that's kind of reasonably right?
yes, absolutely. That's the goal, to treat the whole body, because there's so many aspects that could relate to why they're having those problems. It's just not a cookie cutter. One thing fixes all with people more times than not.
Let's start with the foundation where it began with chiropractic, and I want to get this out of the way. So many people
Okay.
say, and I'm sure you've heard this before, that I'm not going to go to the chiropractor. I got pain, but if I go once, I got to keep going. I'm sure you've heard that before. Please address it.
I hear it all the time, every
Yeah.
day. I hear it all the time. So, so one thing, we definitely don't work that way. There are different conditions that take multiple visits, because it creates that muscle memory, or that neuroplasticity, so that your body will create that situation where it keeps you healthy. So it's just like working out at the gym. You can go to the gym one day and you're going to make a structural change, initially, but in order for it to become neuroplastic, in order for it to stay right, you have to do it repetitively. And that's how, some people call it neuroplasticity. Sometimes with the muscles, we call it muscle memory. But if you only go to the gym one day a week when you're just starting, you're not going to do anything. You can maintain doing that, but if you're going to make structural changes, sometimes it takes multiple visits. So in some cases we do have to treat people like that, but sometimes people wake up with a headache and they just slept wrong and they come in one time. So it just really depends on what's going on with them.
If somebody continually goes for chiropractic treatment, let's say they start a couple of times a week, 2 times a week, what would the benefits be over time, and why is that important to continue going, as opposed to somebody just, man, I'm a little tight over here, let me just stop in and get a crack and then I'm done?
Yeah. Well, okay. So if somebody is coming in multiple times a week, we're trying to correct something. We're trying to do something. So in in our practice, we are not just based on the chiropractic treatment. We do a lot of different things, even under the chiropractic umbrella, right? So we treat the muscles and joints. We do spinal decompression if people have any disc injuries or stenosis. We do shockwave for tendonitis, tendinopathies, and a bunch of other treatments as well. So we try to treat the entire, neuromusculoskeletal system on the chiropractic side. But if somebody has to come in multiple times a week, there's a reason, because we're trying to actually make changes. When somebody is coming in just to maintain their health, right? It's you need to look at it like you're going to the dentist. You've got this system that's functioning correctly, so we just want to keep it functioning correctly. Basically, you don't know when your joints and your spine aren't functioning and aren't moving correctly, because your spine will compensate. The level above or below
Mm,
will make up for it, and usually you don't know that something's wrong until your body can't compensate anymore, right? So you want to maintain motion, and in order to maintain motion in all of your vertebrae, you do need to get adjusted periodically, even if it's just monthly for maintenance. Because truthfully, if whatever's not moving is going to rust, and that's the whole idea, right? We're
mm.
trying to live a little longer and maintain good quality of life while we're alive longer.
I never thought of it in that way, and it just goes to demonstrate that the body is amazing how it compensates. As you said, like let's say you're a little off, your C2 or 3, whatever, like a little wonky, and then you're going to compensate walking a different way over a period of time. But there's only so much time that you can do that, I would imagine, where your body's going to say, "Man, I'm not doing that anymore. I can't. You got me. You got me. Go get some help."
Right. Yeah. And truthfully, that happens all the time. So even if you play a sport in high school, or you golf and you're a lefty, whichever, uh, you're still going to have imbalances. So there's going to be one side that's stronger than the others, depending on how you
Mm.
walk. If, say, you've got one foot that turns out or whatever, you're going to have imbalances. So your spine will wear differently on one side versus the other. So as we age, our discs, the little shock absorbers between the vertebrae, they dehydrate. So that's why we get shorter. They start to dehydrate. So when that starts to happen, you want to make sure that you've got things functioning as well as can be, right? You want to make sure maintain some motion throughout your spine so it doesn't degenerate more at certain levels, because then you're going to have some issues.
We're going to get to the other services you offer along the way here, but I want to hear your story, Lorraine. Where did this all begin for you, where you had an interest in chiropractic services and then onto the wellness side of things? Take us back.
Okay, so I I grew up in Canada, and I did my undergraduate degree there. I did my pre-med program. Then I went to Illinois and went to graduate school to be a chiropractor, and I love it. But I've always been interested in, you know, other stuff. I definitely am not that the chiropractor that just wants to come in and adjust people and send them on their way. I worked in a facility that did physical therapy. And then when I first came to Florida and started working in a center in 1998, we had an internist there that did chelation therapy. So, which, is amazing. So I've always been interested in everything that you can do to treat the whole body, because there is no one thing fixes everything. And I firmly don't believe that. I feel like every discipline has its place, right? So there's always and I think that when you put multiple different kinds of therapies together, you definitely are giving patients the best care. You don't want to limit them to one type of treatment, because the body's really complex. So many things can influence what's going on with them, even if you think it's definitely just a structural problem. There's so many different ways to treat it, and not everything works for everybody. So
Are you, in a way, addicted to learning about new modalities and just like you have an appetite? What else can I do to help people?
yeah, I am totally addicted to new modalities and new technology, like just beyond my own control. I do. I love it. Whenever I learn about new therapies, first of all, I try them myself. I've tried everything. And if I notice a change, I get really excited, and then I just want to bring it into our office. So we do a ton of stuff because of my addiction to shiny things. I always tell my staff, I'm like, I'm really addicted to shiny things. So we bring on all these different devices, but they all have their place, right? And then a lot of them, over the 24 years of practice, a lot of these things will overlap, so it all works out really well.
Take us now. We talked about the chiropractic side of things. Take us into another modality. Pick anyone that we could focus on. You got so many of them, which we're going to get
Okay.
to. But yeah, pick one today.
So we were talking right before this about GLP-1s, right? The weight loss shots, which
Hmm.
people know as Ozempic and Manjaro, or which are their trade names, or semaglutide and
Yep.
tirzepatide, which are the more popular ones. So the medical side of my office and my nurse practitioner, they prescribe those. So we have great success with medical weight loss, but and even though, and we do a natural weight loss program too, we monitor people, we talk to them about their nutrition and their diet, and we have a really good program that works. But and in the public right now, 1 out of 8 people are on GLP-1s. It's a big number of people in the country
Wow.
that are taking. Yeah, yeah. There are some great positive things that come from um, doing GLP-1s. We specifically try to use tirzepatide. We see less side effects, but it is a large number of people there, but people do so well. It changes their lives. It reduces inflammation in their joints. They feel better. They have more energy. The only problem is that when you have any rapid weight loss, even if it's not from GLP-1s, you are going to lose muscle, right? So it just is what it is. You're not going to just specifically have your body just decide it's going to lose all of the fat. It doesn't work like that, right? Your body likes to hold on to, uh, it likes to survive, so it'll hold on to fat. So we offer things that aid in that, in being able to build muscle. So we do other types of nutrition, injectables or IVs. A big one we do is the M Scalp Neo. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's high intensity focused magnetic energy that builds muscle. It literally does 20,000 super maximal contractions in whatever area you do it in, and you get an increase of about 25% of muscle mass, but it also aids in destroying fat in the area with the radio frequency portion. So we create programs that incorporate that with their weight loss journey. And then more recently, our medical department we've brought in the ExoMind, which is TMS therapy. And we brought that in initially with the thought of using that for our weight loss program, because the studies have shown that, so TMS therapy is transcranial magnetic stimulation. So we have one of the newest pieces of technology, um, and it stimulates using magnetic energy, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, and we brain map you, and you get a motor response on the opposite side. And because it's used in major depressive disorder and anxiety, also in addiction, s- studies have shown, and we've seen that people with that overeating habit get rid of it. So the GLP-1s shut off that food noise between your brain, and your tummy. It just shuts it off. It's amazing. But this treatment will make that neuroplastic. So it will become plastic in your brain. So it becomes a habit. And they're seeing literally 100% success rate in people who overeat.
Wow.
That was a
So
mouthful.
it,
Sorry.
if you're taking the GLP-1 or similar medication, you're going to lose
Right.
weight. But I would think
Yep.
that after you're done with it, what's going to happen now? Your brain's going to go back
Right.
to, yeah, I'm hungry. Or let's say we all have a relationship with food. So yeah, maybe you've got some stuff going on and then I'm just going to grab this, I'm going to grab that. And now I would assume now the weight could start coming back. Is this
Yes.
essentially rewiring the brain in some regards?
Absolutely. That's right. That's what it's doing. So you have billions of neurons in your brain, right? And for whatever reason, the neurons are all attached by synapses, and those synapses will break, and those neurons will lie dormant, right? So, and in the area of the brain it stimulates, it controls a lot of things, including mood. So, we've found and what the studies have shown is that when that food noise that contributes to overeating and why people will revert back is because that habit doesn't go away when those neurons aren't firing correctly. So we've seen that when we do this with our GLP-1 patients, they can actually, if they decide they want to be done or take a break, this will stop that yo-yo dieting. So, which is really important because a lot of times people that have tried so many different things, um, and been successful, a lot of times they'll gain the weight back and then some. And that's really not only tough on your body, but it's tough on your
Mm.
your brain, right? It's tough on how you feel and how you deal with a lot of things in your life. And it's really important to be able to maintain that. Some people will stay on a maintenance dose of the GLP-1, indefinitely, but a lot of people don't want to do that. And so this is a really great way to make that habit form because you're rewiring your brain. You've recreated those synapses, and your brain just is functioning better. It's pretty amazing. I
Wow.
love this thing.
Would you say that, GLP-1s, or I don't know if I'm saying this right, tirzepatide?
Tirzepatide, yeah.
Tirzepatide. Okay. Would you say that's kind of temporary? Yeah, it's helping you achieve a goal, but it's now it's up to you to continue that goal, but not easier said than done for most of us, whereby now you take it steps further with this treatment, in terms of rewiring your brain. Does it have anything to do with, I've often heard cranial sacral therapy, which is, doing a lot of different things within your mind and, yeah, maybe rewiring some things. You think it has a connection to that?
So I got to be honest with you. I don't do craniosacral therapy. A
Hmm.
lot of people really love it, but that's more musculoskeletal. This is specifically working on stimulating the production of those synapses. So it's definitely more on the mental side of it
Gotcha.
versus like the neuromusculoskeletal. Yeah. So craniosacral there, and I got to be honest, I am a chiropractor, but I don't because I don't even understand everything that goes into craniosacral therapy, but it definitely is more neuromusculoskeletal versus working on neuroplasticity, which is creating something that becomes plastic in your brain, just like overeating is something that's habit, and it's plastic in your brain. But when you can change that by stimulating those neurons to function correctly, and reproducing those synapses so they're actually not sitting in your brain dead and dormant.
And what's that called
But
again?
we've seen so we it's called TMS therapy, so transcranial magnetic stimulation. We have the latest device, the newest technology, because historically, you can get TMS. And there's tons of clinics that do it for major depressive disorder and anxiety, and a lot of different conditions. They're actually doing research right now with TMS. They're doing studies for on Alzheimer's and Parkinson's to treat TMS. They're doing a lot of there's so many great studies. If you could go down a whole rabbit hole if you just look up that therapy. But the device we have is a 3.5 Tesla magnet, and it's very focused, so it goes to just that part of the brain. So what traditionally is a 36 to 40 treatment protocol that you would do 5 days a week. This device allows us to recreate that same outcome with 6 treatments because of the strength of the magnet.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's it's a total game changer because first of all, compliance. Could you go somewhere every day for 36 to 40 treatments. That would be so hard.
Even when you
I
just
couldn't
said
fit
that,
that in. And
when you just said that, the number of treatments, outside of your facility with the new equipment, right away inside of me, I got triggered. I'm like, oh, how you do that? Like, who can
no,
do that?
heck no. Yeah, and even on the chiropractic side, I nobody wants to be here every day or 3 days a week for a year. I wouldn't do it. There's no way. Give me some better options. I'm
Hmm.
busy. Like I don't. It's time. It's money, and nobody wants to do that. We all have way too much going on. So that's a big part of it too. Is working on compliance because everything works great and we all do all these great things, but if nobody has the time or can get in to do it, it's just a waste. So things have to be efficient and things have to work well. And then that's a big part of weight loss. A lot of people that have done so many different treatments are on that inevitable yo-yo train, right? They go up and they go down and and that's hard. It's hard on your body and it's hard on you mentally. So that's why I really love this. I really do love this.
Wow,
It's a game changer.
your passion is through the roof. Your
Really,
energy, your vibe
yeah.
is like, you can tell, we can tell that
Well, thanks.
this drives you. Like you get excited, and rightfully so. You're
I
helping
do
people.
so I get the treatment. Yeah, I actually get the treatment. I had my treatment yesterday. So I've seen it change. It's changed a lot for me, you know.
I'm jealous because you can just
Nah,
walk through the hallways and say, what do I want to do today? Let me go do that. Or maybe, Friday I might make an appointment for that. I mean, it's all there, but that's great for the rest of us because you've already
yeah,
tested it out. It wouldn't be
yeah.
there unless you truly believe in it.
Oh, 100%. And I keep trying to get appointments and I can barely get in. I can't even get in. I'm always treating people, so I'm due for a lot of things. It makes me crazy. But yeah, the technology is available. It's here. It's just a matter of putting all these pieces together and there are options and that are amazing now. Just people just need to know about it.
Yeah, well, that's why we're here. St.
Yeah.
Petersburg, Florida. That's where you're located, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It seems like your staff is like family. Would you say
They're
that?
amazing. I have an incredible team. Yes, they are like family. They're amazing. We literally flow together so well. I always, sometimes I'll look at some of the people in my office and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do this and do that. And it's already done. I'm like, what the heck just happened here? They're just amazing. We are a good cohesive team. We work really well together.
Yeah, sounds like you guys are in sync and you get it done. How do we find you? What's your website, Lorraine?
So our website is thorpechiropractic.com.
And Thorpe is spelled Thorpe. You have so much. We got so much to talk about. Like I'm learning, GLP-1s, be honest with you, it's been on my back burner in the back of my mind. I've got
Yeah.
like 20 I want to lose. People will look at me and say, "What are you kidding? You got 20 pounds you want to lose?" Like, yeah, because I remember 3 years ago I was 20 lighter, and that's where everybody
Yeah.
feels, a certain sweet spot. That's where I was probably the best I've been in
Yeah.
decades. So I appreciate all the info and all the insight and what you do. And thank you for being here. Looking forward next time we get together.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.